it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
During the moment of silence, just keep in mind everybody that's impacted by the government shutdown. All right, thank you. Now, Jackie, will you call the roll, please?
Yes. Mayor Evans, Vice Mayor Parrish.
Here.
Mr. Velardo,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Here.
Mr. Thompson,
Here.
Ms. Cooper,
Here.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Here.
And do I have a motion to excuse Mayor Evans?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Parrish,
Yes.
Mr. Velardo,
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Yes.
All right, that takes us to proceedings. First up is to approve the council meetings proceedings from October 21st, 2025, and also approve, well, let's do those separately. Approve council meeting proceedings from October 31st, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Parrish,
Yes.
Mr. Velardo.
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes.
All right, and do I have a motion to approve the special meeting budget 2026 work session proceedings from October 27th, 2025?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Parrish,
Abstain?
Mr. Velardo.
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
All right, next up, financial statements. Do I have a motion to adopt the September 2025 finance report?
So moved. Oh, second.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Mr. Parrish,
Yes.
Mr. Velardo.
Yes.
Mr. Price.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
All right, that takes us to public comments. Is there a member of the public that would like to make a comment? Seeing none, that takes us to the city manager report. Mr. Gunderson.
Thank you. Attached in everyone's packet is the city manager report. We've got quite a bit of good stuff in here from all the departments, so I encourage you to look at it. A few things I wanted to mention for everyone is we conducted the workshop on October 27, 2025. One of the things that I wanted to discuss, and this probably is for committee of the whole, but the next steps regarding the budget. There's no formal action. It's simply just setting another public meeting to discuss that budget, and hopefully it'll be as close to a finalized budget. Hopefully it's close.
You haven't met me yet, have you?
Excuse me.
You haven't met Ralph yet, have you?
Oh.
That was the question.
Well, I am feeling very good. We'll discuss that during committee of the whole. Want to let everyone know that we have engaged with Management Essentials for the City of Milford marketing. That'll last until January. So far, we've seen some pretty good content thrown out there. We've gotten lots of good engagement based off the stats that or the statistics that we received. So we will look to continue that. We are reviewing the Economic Development Strategic Plan. I've received the first draft. We're currently reviewing that. Once we feel comfortable, we'll bring that back to council and be able to discuss that. That's something that we started in July, and we discussed getting it completed by the end of the year. It's taken a little bit longer than what we had thought, so I want to make sure that it's to my liking before presenting that to council. And then lastly, we began the process for the C-Click Fix and the AI chatbot software. That was something we passed, I believe, a meeting or two ago. The C-Click Fix, that's the software that we'll be able to utilize for if it's a pothole, if there's some sort of issue, residents are able to report that to the city. We're looking for a launch date of January 27th, or actually 28th. So that is up and going, and we're looking forward to that. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions for me.
All right. Next up, I see that we have our fire and EMS report.
No police department?
Chief Mills is out of the state for a work trip, so he
Okay.
will not be present tonight.
I
Now,
saw
we
a
do have
stand-in.
Sergeant
I
Kibbe
thought
back
maybe
there.
we were getting.
Yeah, he does have a speech prepared if anyone would like him to
Okay.
give a report, but he's also here for smiles.
All right, so Fire and EMS, Chief.
I was going to let Sarge do mine, too. It's all right. Thank you for the opportunity to speak for just a couple of minutes. I'm very proud to report on the community food drive that was organized by John Cooper Jr., the Community Health Coordinator for Miami Township, and recruited a number of organizations, including our department, as well as Goshen Township Fire and EMS, for a food drive. I think he said it best in the press release. Our firefighters and police are not only first responders, they're neighbors, friends, and advocates for those in need. And this food drive is a way to give back to ensure no family goes hungry during this benefit shutdown and through the holidays. So with that, there is going to be a drive-through opportunity to give food on Wednesday, November 12th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Residents are encouraged to drop off non-perishable food items at the participating locations, including our fire station in Milford at 687B US 50, at State Route 131 in Milford Parkway, the Miami Township Fire Station number 26 at 5900 McPicken Drive, and Station 27 on Branch Hill Guinea Pike up in the Wards Corner area. In Goshen Township, the Heartland Christian Church, the Goshen United Methodist Church, and the Williams Corner Church of God will be receiving donations on behalf of Goshen Township. That is on Wednesday, November 12th, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. At those locations. In addition, our department is going to have a food drive beginning on November 5th and ending the evening of November 12th. Non-perishable food items can be dropped off at the fire station 24 hours a day. We are leaving one of the exterior doors to the lobby, which still secures the fire station, but people can put food in there and feel safe in the area when they're doing it. We'll accept that. We will collect it, and we will distribute it to the organizations that are going to be asked to distribute that. And I want to point out that while this is definitely being as a result of the issues with the government shutdown, I'm sure this will extend to help through the holiday season. So we're just thrilled to be doing our part in that. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge, and I can't acknowledge them individually, but there were just absolutely tons of individuals and businesses and organizations that contributed to last Saturday's fundraiser for Milford Community Fire Department family member Austin Noss. Austin is the son of our Fire Marshal Philip Noss. He is battling a cancer right now and needed some financial support to help him through this. I'm so pleased that, again, many individuals, organizations, really over $8,000 was raised. And so we've gifted that to Austin's family to help take care of the expenses surrounding his illness and everything that goes along with that. We are still accepting donations for Austin. They can be Venmo'd. If you find us on the Facebook page, the information to give a donation is available on that. And finally, I was so surprised when I was teaching a class today at the station, and I just happened to look up through the windows facing US 50, and there goes the 1945 antique fire truck driving by with a Sora's truck behind it. I spoke with the person, the company representative of the company doing the restoration yesterday, and they were preparing to move it today from that shop to Sora's to complete the rest of the remaining restoration work. They've completed most of the chassis work that they were going to do. They have a little bit more to do with that. As well as they're going to rebuild or replace the carburetor to try to straighten up how the motor is running. But obviously it was doing pretty well because they drove past and it looked like it was just really looking great. So I want to no promises that we're going to have it for hometown for the holidays, but they are definitely trying. But they feel very confident about Santa Sunday. So I want to again thank the community and the members of the community and business community that supported that. We've not only been able to take care of most of the work, as well as Sora's contribution of of the parts and the use of their base space for the remaining work to be done. But we've also been able to squirrel a little bit of money away to have available for future repairs to the vehicle. So real grateful for that. Any questions for the fire department? We've been very busy. We had a run to Target last night that was a little bit of a scare for us, fortunately. It turned out to be relatively minor damage and no injuries, thank goodness. Result of a short-circuited wire in a freezer unit that smoked up the building a little bit, scared a lot of people, but in the end turned out fine. So, any questions for us? Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, that takes us to our Committee of the Whole meeting. Do I have a motion to open the Committee of the Whole meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
All right, so we'll go ahead and call the Committee of the Whole to order. Jackie, would you take the roll?
Yes. Mr. Parrish?
Here.
Mr. Velardo?
Here.
Mr. Price?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
Ms. Cooper?
Yeah, here.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Here.
All right, and that takes us to the public comment section for the Committee of the Whole. Does any member of the public have anything they'd like to refer to in Committee of the Whole? Hi. Just remember, please, to state your name and address for the record.
Sure. Good evening. My name is Rachel Richardson. I live at 907 Center Street, speaking tonight as a Milford resident. The failure of the charter amendment this week sent a clear message. Milford voters want transparency, deliberation, and a real opportunity for public input before decisions are made. Council should take that as a sign to strengthen and protect those values, not weaken them. Right now, council is meeting as a committee of a whole at virtually every regular council meeting. In these meetings, ordinances are discussed, and council votes to request their preparation by the law director. But in most cases, those ordinances are already drafted before that vote even occurs. Then, council adjourns the committee of the whole, reconvenes the regular meeting, suspends the charter's two reading rule, and then votes on that ordinance, all in a single evening. That sequence may be procedurally convenient, but it undermines the transparency that voters just reaffirmed. It gives the appearance of public deliberation without actually giving the public a chance to meaningfully participate. I would strongly encourage council to end the practice of same-day voting on ordinances, except in cases of true emergencies. When discussion, drafting, and final votes all happen in one meeting, residents are shut out of the process entirely. The community cannot weigh in on an ordinance it hasn't had time to read or even know exists. There's also another simple procedural fix that would make a real difference. Move the public comment portion of the meeting from this time, from the beginning of the comment committee of the whole, to after council's discussion and before the vote on any ordinances. So at the end of the committee of the whole section. Right now, residents have to speak blindly at the start of the meeting, guessing what might come up later. That's not meaningful participation. It's a formality that leaves residents out of the actual decision-making process. Moving the public comment section would allow residents to speak up after hearing your discussion and before the actual decisions are made. These are small changes, but they will make a major difference in restoring public confidence after this charter vote. Milford residents want an open process, one where laws are made after thoughtful deliberation and not rushed through in a single evening. The committee of the whole should operate as a true working committee with posted agendas, advance notice, and genuine deliberation, not as a procedural shortcut to same-day legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public that would like to make a comment? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the items referred to the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Gunderson.
Thank you. First on the agenda here is the Milford Trailhead Building lease with Bishop's Bicycles. This is a initial 5-year term, and then written into the contract is an additional 5-year option to renew. Provided in the packet is the actual contract itself, so you can see what the increase will be, which is 15%. that is tacked on to what is the existing rate. May through August, $375 a month, and then September through April, $150 a month. So each month will increase 15%, and it'll go towards the appropriate month. So my recommendation certainly is to renew this lease, and wanted to get council's approval on that. Any questions?
And then how long are we renewing?
5 years,
So an additional 5 years?
yes.
And then the rent just goes up to 15%?
15% for that respective month. So you'll see May through
But that's a
August.
one-time, that's not every year for the next 5 years, correct? That's a one-time.
Does it just go up 15% the
Yeah.
first year and stay that way, or does every year it go up 15%?
No, it's just 15, yeah, it's the one-time 15% for the next 5 years. So it won't go up 15% each 5 years, it'll just happen once, and then it'll remain that rate for the remaining years.
I think,
How long has this leasee been at the trailhead? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with how long they've actually been leasing from us, just out of curiosity.
For sure, 5 years.
yeah, they've been there.
And that's just on the lease agreement. Prior to that, I simply don't know.
Sure, okay.
I just think that's a long-term, to not have any more rent increases. I mean, are you okay with that, or is that, so?
Well, how I interpret this lease is, it says we grant the leasee an additional 5-year option to renew, so I think if we were to go, I think this is already written into the lease is how I interpret this lease. It's not something that was negotiated separately. It was already built in from the start.
So this isn't asking for a new lease to be written, this is hey, the original lease from 2020 is expiring, and the leasee may exercise their option to renew, in which case, this isn't like a question thing, this is a, hey, this is coming up and I need you guys to vote on it.
Yes,
Okay,
that is correct.
okay. That makes more sense than this is a new lease, that makes this a lot easier. Okay, does anybody have additional questions? Okay. Usually during meetings, this is the part where I tend to make recommendations for things.
Right,
But
right.
being where I'm at tonight, I can't do that.
I don't agree with it, so I won't make the
Okay,
if someone
that's
else
fair. I'm
wants
just
to.
making sure
yeah.
everyone's aware, so that if someone decides to make
Yeah.
that motion, they
Yeah.
can. And if no one wants to make that motion, I guess we'll move on to discussion of the customer service station.
Well, without that motion, will this be tabled, or how, or?
I would just,
I mean, the lease is up.
Yeah.
And
just so I'm reading right,
30.
is this strictly a procedure thing, or, so what if we say we don't want to renew their lease? Do we have that option? The way you read that?
How I read it, no.
Yeah.
No. I'm trying to think if there's something else that we've done since I've been here. The bike barn, for example, with CMC Properties, that'll be something that has a similar clause in there that they're able to renew. I think it's 5 years as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've done since I've been here. I'm striking out, but.
I guess I'm at a loss where it actually says.
So in
lease
the
agreements
first
one
term, it says
additional
initial 5-year
option.
term.
Okay.
Lessor grants leasee one additional 5-year option to renew.
The question that I have, though, is, and just because, again, we're reading what's in the contract that's in front of us.
Yeah.
Leasee must provide lessor with no less than 30 days written notice of its intention to renew. Have they notified us of their intention to renew?
Yes.
So that basically locks us into that word.
That's fine.
That's what prompted this, correct.
That's what I'm, okay.
My apologies.
Because of the way this lease is written, and in the future, I don't think we should have that kind of lease, but I'll make the motion that we draft the ordinance granting what the contract already says, that they have the right to renew for another 5-year option. Second.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the customer service station. The remaining items are simply discussions. I want to make sure that I am aligned with council in terms of these next actions. First on the list is the customer service station. This is something I brought up during my interview process, and we've discussed several different initiatives that we are planning on taking next year as it relates to customer service. During those discussions, I brought up my goal to create a customer service station, which is something that I've done at my previous employer and was a huge success. And I put a memo in council's packet to highlight what the primary objectives are. But on a surface level, what it ultimately comes down to is it's a one-stop shop. It's very similar to what we have now, except I want to move the location of it to where Jackie's office is currently. So that way, when residents, business owners, or visitors come into the building, the entrance to be relocated to that of near the elevator. So when you walk in the building, you have the elevator to the right, and then you continue to walk forward and you'll be greeted by the customer service station. So what I put in there is a high level understanding of exactly what that looks like. The project would consist of, if council was in agreement with what I would like to create, taking down the 2 walls in Jackie's office. You'd be greeted with that customer service desk. So you'd be able to pay your water bills, receive permits. You could ask any general city questions, anything that we do now, but then we'll expand on that. So I want to do new resident folders. When it's tax season, we have people that come in and need assistance with taxes. We would then be able to have a meeting room to the right in which people could meet with our tax specialist to review their taxes and gain any assistance as needed. So it's really, once again, a one-stop shop that allows residents to obtain everything that they would need from a customer service standpoint in one area. If there was something that wasn't able to be accomplished by the people that are going to be working in that area, then of course we'll handle it as needed. But that is ultimately what I would like to create. And it better facilitates some of these customer service efforts that I'm wanting to create going into next year. So once again, it would be removing the 2 walls. You'll see on the little drawing, I have an updated one. This is the one I needed to add to the packet so I could get it out to council. We'll extend the desk a little bit further than what's shown on that actual picture, and then there will be a doorway. So we'll still have 2 people back there. For sure, our utility specialists will be back there, and then next year, depending upon what direction we go with staffing, I would like for at least a part-time person to be back there, so we have 2 people there. And then you'll see to the right, once again, that will be a meeting room. I'm hoping to have a small table there, but what I would really like is, I don't want to say like a museum, but in nature, where we've got the new resident folders. And the new resident folders are going to be businesses in Milford, emergency contact information, who are the utility suppliers, all the really key general information that is needed for new residents that move to town. I would like that to be sort of in that little nook area. So I wanted to bring this to council we're not acting on it tonight, but I just want to make sure we're aligned. We do have money left over in the budget this year in an economic development line item that I don't expect to spend, and that's where I'd be pulling the money from. Are there any questions regarding that?
And as you said, the service department is doing the work, right?
Is there a cost?
Wall removal?
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea.
I mean,
but-
just, it's not gonna be outsourced, we're gonna be doing.
Yeah, other than the furniture itself, in terms of the knocking down of the walls, we believe that we can do a lot of that internally, and we won't obstruct anything, move electric. They're not load-bearing walls. It's very simple removal of that. And then it would be simply the construction. I estimate it'll be between 20 and 25,000 for all the furniture. That's if, of course, we buy new. I think at a minimum we need the desk, but I want it to be a nice, clean area that's presentable for residents to come in, and that's what they see.
Thanks to the city.
Agree.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this progress and see where it goes, so.
Okay.
And is this just a visual? Is this a door, like I'm coming from the elevator, I'm going in, is this glass? Or is this a doorway? in?
No,
Or
yeah,
is
so
it open?
it'll be a doorway in, so, because we'll still have employees that would be
Right.
back there working on a consistent basis. I do not plan on putting glass in front of that customer
Okay,
service desk.
So people would just walk in?
Correct, and you'll be
Okay.
greeted at the desk.
I was
That's
just
how
trying
I
to picture a
envision it.
visual
Yep.
from the.
Yep.
Yep, okay.
Great.
Sounds good.
All right. Alrighty, next on the agenda is the CRA, the Community Reinvestment Area. This is something I brought up sometime during the summer, and I probably should have had a date. We brought up the idea of getting rid of the pre-94 CRA and converting that to a post-94 CRA. There's quite a few differences. The pre-94 is essentially you get 15-year 100% and you're entitled to it. There's also a lower, we have very little discretion with that CRA. There's also a lower income requirement before the revenue sharing kicks in. And then the other thing we run into is the CRA is very limited in terms of the area that it currently exists. We've ran into issues regarding that, especially over in the Parkway. We've had to utilize other incentives that act like an abatement as a substitute to that. So what I discussed with council was that of converting to the post-1994 CRA. Part of that process was to complete a housing study, which is what is completed or is part of the packet. And that's something that's been done previously. I know that there's other versions of this, but this is an updated one for council to review. I wanted to be able to get council's thoughts on this as we move forward. By moving to a post-1994 CRA, there's different limits that the city is allowed to go without school board approval. It also increases the income requirement before the revenue sharing with the schools kicks in. It would go from $1 million to $2 million. So there's a benefit there, and that's where we've previously run into issues with the revenue sharing is enforcing this program. So this would be a way that we would be able to avoid those future issues. And how our legislation is written now, the businesses that they receive that CRA and the revenue sharing kicks in, it's written in there that we're asking them to pay that revenue sharing. It's not obligating them. Now, if we pass a separate revenue or a separate agreement with the developer that they have to do it, then that's different. But if we don't do that, then we could be on the hook for the revenue sharing payments. So we went through this process earlier, and everyone except for one business paid their share of revenue that was due. One company did not. They covered a large share, but not all of it. But fortunately, the schools were willing to work with us and were able to solve that issue.
Can you get us a list of who has what, of how many CRAs? I think would be really helpful too, of who has what CRAs, whether they're pre, post, or whatever. And then I assume your intention would be we'd pass legislation possibly to eliminate ever using the pre-94, correct?
Yeah, so the only business that currently has a CRA is the distillery.
Okay.
And they're very fresh in terms, I think they're maybe 2 years in.
Okay.
All the remaining businesses have our local tax reimbursement. So anything that is collected under the Milford tax, then we've reimbursed them for that. And there's been several businesses that have taken advantage of that. We are almost closed out of that program, and I do not.
We
plan on
eliminated
going-
that program, correct? Yeah.
And I
thought
certainly
so.
wouldn't plan on advocating for it.
Right.
I think that maybe was a way to get around the CRA issues, but I'm not entirely sure. So right now, the distillery is the only one that has the pre-94 CRA. Now, that would stay. So even if we decided to go to a post-94, that still stays.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be anything moving forward. So what I'm going to do is I just wanted to leave this with council, and then we'll bring it up on another agenda, so that way council can see what the ordinance looks like or what it would look like, and then we can consider it further. Any questions before I move on? Alrighty. Next on the agenda is the utility rate study. once again, not making a formal action or taking a formal action on this. However, this is a very important topic, not only in terms of how it impacts the residents, but also from a budgeting standpoint. And this is something that I need further guidance on. So, excuse me, during the last budget workshop, this was certainly a topic of conversation. And we talked about what the recommended study, or what the study is recommending in terms of the increases. We also discussed, and we've discussed previously in terms of the council meeting, some efforts that we can take to reduce that increase to the residents. And once again, the approach we took was we wanted to limit this increase as much as we could, and we would fully, it's fully known that if we're going to complete any projects, that's going to be subsidized through either the general fund, capital improvement fund, or outside funding opportunities, loans, grants, et cetera. So during the budget workshop, we talked about a one-time transfer of $500,000 to water and sewer, and then so if you go to the very last sheet, let me just explain this. Go to the very last sheet, you'll see 6 boxes. The first 2 boxes, so sewer's on top, water's on bottom. First 2 boxes are exactly what is being recommended in the rate study. You go to the second box, that's a one-time $500,000 transfer to both water and sewer. And just for the purposes of evaluating options, I did have them increase it to $1 million just to see what that increase would look like in terms of the percentages and how that would affect residents. I'm not advocating for that. That's certainly a lot of money for us, but I wanted council to be able to consider a few options. So you'll see that, for example, going into next year, we've got a $190,000 transfer from the general fund to the sewer fund. And the goal is for the next 5 years, we're going to really reduce that transfer as much as we can. And the goal is to make those utility funds self-performing. They need to be able to carry their own weight, and we should have never gotten in this situation. But we are, so we're trying to address it. Then go into the second box. If we were to make a one-time transfer of $500,000, you'd see it would go from a 20% increase to a 10% increase. You'll see that even making that transfer, what it allows us to do is it allows, the increases still are very similar. It just allows us to spread those increases. So you'll see it goes 10, 10, 10 versus 20, 12, 5. So that's just, I want to be able to point that out. Once again, that's just sewer. And then you'll see the water below it. But what you see is you see the increase, and then you see the bi-monthly dollar increase. So what would actually be a dollar amount in terms of the bill. So once again, just looking for better guidance as we are trying to complete the budget going into next year, and I need to, these are obviously very important variables that we have to consider as we look to finalize that budget. Is there anything that I can provide further clarification on? Any questions?
I'll have questions, but I need to dig into these numbers a little bit more. But I think this is very consistent with what we've been talking about the whole time as far as what our options would be to be able to lessen some of the burden or some of the impact, I think, on residents. So it certainly gives us some opportunity to look at all the variables and make an informed decision.
And can you explain your concern with taking larger chunks out, just so?
Yeah, I think my concern is, and I'm not sure if I necessarily said this during the budget workshop, but my concern is once we transfer these funds, they become restricted. You transfer it to water, I can't transfer it back to the general fund, for example, if I under a transfer. If something goes wrong, so if we have an emergency or we'll just use the one that we've continued to use all year, State Route 28, okay? That was a almost was over $400,000 fix that we were not expecting, and we had to spread the cost significantly. By transferring a large amount, then it becomes restricted. So what I personally would like to do is even if it stays in the general fund and we just earmark it, similar to like what we did with the opioid funding for the ambulance, okay? And we just earmark it and say, okay, $1 million of this is set aside for utilities. So that way, in the event that we have a large project or we have an emergency related to the utilities, we can transfer it out of the general fund. But if there's something else that happens within the city that would be outside of these utility funds, I don't like to be able to transfer a lot of money because it restricts it. And certainly at the $1 million transfer, that would significantly cut our reserve balance, and we would be I think we'd be paying for that for a long time. It would take us a long time to dig out from underneath that. We'd be very close to the GFOA standard. Well, a lot closer. I think we need about $2.5 million in our general fund to meet that standard. So we'd be about $3 million. So I really worry that that's certainly a council decision, but I worry that if we do make a very significant transfer, that it could hurt us with unpredicted events.
Any other questions on the utility rate study? All right, to be continued.
Alrighty. The only other thing that I would like to make is set the public hearing or the public meeting, the workshop, the special meeting, whatever you want to call it, for hopefully the next meeting. It'd be great if we could meet before council. I know that makes for a long night, but it'd be nice to, since we're all going to be here, if we can start knocking out some of this stuff, and that way we're still moving and we can hopefully get this passed. I can't promise next meeting, but I really want the first meeting in December to be the very last date. With me is, I brought the updated project list that council's requested per the budget workshop. So we asked about prioritizing projects, and I can't say that this is the exact order that I would prioritize projects, but what I did was I put what I would consider the capital fund projects. There's 3 in there, sorry. I put anything that would be within the capital improvement fund, I put that towards the top, and then I put the utilities below that: water, sewer, street, parks. Well, parks and street aren't utilities, and then stormwater. So the highlighted is, once again, what I've built into the budget already. If council decides to take that out, then we'll act as needed. But the top is what I would consider projects that would be inserted into the capital improvement fund. I did put those in what I would consider, once again, not exactly perhaps the priority, but I focused on public safety, I focused on needs for the operations, and then I focused on what would push the needle forward for us operationally. So that's sort of how I put that on the list. And then lastly, I put the events. This is something council requested at the workshop as well. What events are part of the budget? You'll see, similar to the budget binder that I handed out, the second to last column to the right is the forecast for 2025, and then the very last column, and I can send an updated spreadsheet to council to reflect this, but the very last column on the right, is what we have budgeted amount-wise that totals that special events line item in the budget book that was
Tell him,
presented.
sorry, going from left to right, the first line is which?
So if you're on the very right side, that is 2026.
Okay.
And then the second to the right, so the next one to the left, is the forecast for 25. So what we are
Year to date?
forecasting to spend now.
Okay.
Yeah, year to date.
And then,
And I'll clarify, we didn't increase any of those numbers in that 26 proposed budget from the 25 budget.
Okay.
It was the exact same number. So we've
And what are the other
commenced,
two numbers, the lines?
24 actual, 23 actual.
So, and then right now you said you would like to have kind of a public hearing over the budget stuff that we've discussed at our next city council meeting?
Correct.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I really think it'd be less of a public hearing, it'd be more of a workshop that's a public meeting, because I still think that I need some back and forth with council, so I don't want it to sound like I'm going to be presenting something and then it's gonna stop there. I think it's more of a workshop.
Yeah, budget workshop, typically
great.
what we've done.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the-
Okay.
So are you talking the November 18th meeting?
Yes, yep. And if we
Oh.
could do it at 5, 5:30, 6, it's gotta be
My
before 7.
preference would be 5:30 or 6, just based on my commute.
If we don't start it by 5:30,
Yes,
Yeah.
an hour is probably not enough.
yeah,
No, it's not.
So how
5:30
about
works.
5? And if you,
with the drop-down cutoff at 6:45.
Okay.
Yeah, so that way we'll go right into it.
So we'll make sure that council gets the updated binder in advance. That way we're all looking at the right information. You're able to review it prior to that workshop, and then we'll be able to have a good discussion then. So the only thing I'll need outside of committee of the whole is a motion to set that budget workshop. Or you can make it now, I guess.
Yeah, that we make a motion that we're gonna hold a budget workshop November 18th from 5:30 till 6:45 before our regularly scheduled council meeting.
second?
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Excellent. In that case, do I have a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole meeting?
That's up to you.
Sure, you can have a moment. Just remember to state your name and address for the record. If you would come up to the podium, please. Oh, jeez.
Myers Park Country Club, we had a blast. Steve Myers, Walnut Street, 818. Lifelong resident here. Seen a lot of changes in this town. My kids went to high school here. I graduated from here. Know a lot of people from here. My brother caddied at Terrace Park Country Club for David Frisch, who was a member there. 45 years in the human resource field with small companies like General Motors, General Electric, UPS, Lowe's, and McDonald's. Also did consulting work. I helped Lycans put together their HR department. They were good at hauling oil, didn't know much about people. So they got into the convenience store business when I was there and spread that out. And convenience stores, the thing that keep people coming back are the relationships between the employees and the customers. Yeah, coffee's important, yeah, milk's important, beer, cigarettes, et cetera. But there is a prime property sitting here, as there are several in Milford, but one that comes to mind dating back to the 1960s originally was Heiner's Shell Station on the corner of Cemetery and Route 50. Char Heiner's family, Ray Heiner's, they ran it. Great repair shop, great gas station. That eventually closed and they remediated it and they put up a shopping center there. We had La Rosa's there, which moved across the way. We had Jamboree Sports. We had a couple doctor's offices where we were Creamy Whip. It was very busy. And it was a good shopping center. And it's since been raised. That property is sitting there vacant right now. Now, I looked at that and with McDonald's, it's location, location, location. They were one of the one in the corner there was one of my stores I covered. I was from Cleveland to the Tennessee borderline, corporate HR. And I did some due diligence and dug into the auditor's office over here in Clermont County. That property was bought and owned by the people who own the Butterbee restaurant chain out of Mount Orab. They have since sold this, and this group has beaten us twice now. It's owned by Miami Township.
No, it's not.
That's what the auditor's office had.
No, you're talking about the cemetery properties owned by Miami Township, not that property.
The property.
The auditors, first of all, the auditor is not actual description. I mean, it's a pretty good character, but
Yeah.
the property itself is not owned by Miami Township.
Okay, it's the corner of Cemetery and
Yeah, and,
Cricket.
yeah, but the gentleman you're referring to still owns that property. I'm in contact with him all the time.
Oh, the guy that owns Butterbees. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
he still owns it.
Oh, yes.
Well, they had it on
Yeah.
record, and they sent me a form, or emailed me a
Right.
copy of what it was.
But the cemetery, so if you want to buy the cemetery, that's for sale.
No, oh, no, it's
Yeah, yeah.
it's too famous. Reverend Gatch is
Yeah.
buried there. Come on, the
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
one of the
But yes,
original
that
authors
gentleman
of the
still
Ohio State
has owned,
Constitution.
and I believe
Yeah.
he's come to the city a few times with different things, and we would love to see him develop it. But yeah, just for the record.
But he's the guy that owns it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need to talk with him then.
Yeah.
The reason being is Miami Township has cleared land at the corner of State Route 28 and Branch Hill Guinea Pike. It's being cleared. There's a wine store there. It looks like it's going to stay. But all that property around it was bought by Wawa. Wawa is coming in. And my son attended graduate school at Penn, and I experienced Wawa while I was there. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We didn't eat there all the time, but a couple times. I called my counterpart at Wawa, spoke with him, and said, you guys are strong in Pennsylvania where you started. You're up in the Northeast. You're going Southeast. You're missing the mark. They said, what's that? I said, OKI, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana. Come there. Well, they're coming into Ohio, 60 stores. They're opening up, grand opening tomorrow off of Glen Springs Drive, just south of 275 on Route 4. Sure. They are awesome. If you work late, there's no place to eat at night. You get tired of White Castle, all that stuff. Wawa, each convenience store has its niche. UDF is ice cream, right? Wawa's is food, fresh food prepared in front of you, and it's daggone good. Their coffee, their milkshakes, their smoothies, everything they've got is really good. So they are looking to expand, and I thought that would be a great location for a Wawa with a gas station because it's got plenty of room there for them. Open 24/7. I got gas there last week for $2.32 a gallon. Okay, and they're open 24/7. Great convenience store, great food. I would just want to put that out there. I have a meeting with Benjamin tomorrow at 11. I was going to mention and take some information into him about that and say, please, I've got the name and number of the person who's scouting the territory for him, and they would be a prime. But apparently, the gentleman still owns Butterbees, still owns that property, right? I was told.
As far as I know.
I was told wrong by the county, and they sent me the information. I've got it on my sheet. That's why I said what I said. But anyway, I'll probably reach out to that fellow and or have them contact Wawa also. It'd be prime location, be a great draw for business.
We would love to see that lot get developed eventually. My wife is also a Quaker, so thank you for this.
UPenn, good stuff.
Yes, so we are, and thank you for that. So, but if you wouldn't mind just wrapping up, that would be
Sure,
great.
sure. Well, the last thing I was going to say, there is one opening in December up in Union Township. Right in back of that was McDonald's. They bought the property after Wawa started their construction. McDonald's already open and running. So I called the Wawa person and said, hey, get with it.
Sure.
Here's a good location in Milford. Please consider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That takes us to council comments. Does anyone on council have any comments? Hearing none, that takes us to new business, ordinances, and resolutions. Do we need to hold off on that since our law director is not present, or we can do those
No, but
procedurally?
we do need to adjourn from the committee of the whole.
Yeah,
So we're gonna do executive session, come back and do the ordinance, and then,
No.
oh,
Just,
sorry, we did not adjourn,
yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
you started
Yep.
It
to.
has been a really long week,
Yeah.
and I have very young children at home.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone out there, sorry. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn from the committee of the whole?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
All right, well, I'm glad you guys are here to keep me on track. That then
Well, you
takes
started to
us-
do it.
I
Yeah,
did.
you started.
And then that then takes us to council comments. Anyone on council like to make a comment?
Two
Still-
things.
Well,
Two things. I wasn't going to say it, but anyway, I just want to, and I'll do this later on. I want to congratulate all the people who actually went out and voted, and congratulations to all the successful candidates, and to acknowledge a dear, sweet friend, longtime friend, and great colleague, Janet Cooper, for all her years of service. I'll have a lot more to say about her later on, but I just certainly want to acknowledge her input to this council, to this community, to this city is second to none. So thank you, Jane.
Thank you, that's very
Yeah.
kind.
Well said, Mr. Florida. Anyone else? Great. Then that, I believe, takes us to new business, which would be ordinances and resolutions. I suppose, am I reading this since Brian's not here? Are you reading it?
I think the city manager should be the one to read it.
I'm really open to suggestions, so if you, no, I can read it, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Show me how it's done.
I don't know about all that, but I'll do
Yeah.
my best. All right. Ordinance number 25-410, an ordinance authorizing a lease agreement with Hellebusch Bicycles LLC. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Ohio, Section 1. The Council of the City of Milford hereby authorizes the city manager to enter into a building lease agreement with the Hellebusch Bicycles LLC for bicycle storage at the Milford Trailhead Building pursuant to and in accordance with the terms and conditions of the agreement. The agreement is attached hereto and fully incorporated herein pursuant to and in accordance with Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Section 2, pursuant to and in accordance with Sections 12.05 and 12.07 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Motion to suspend the rules and read by title only?
Second.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ordinance number 25-410, an ordinance authorizing a lease agreement with Hellebusch Bicycles LLC.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes. That takes us to old business.
I would like to make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to and in accordance with Section 3.051 of the Milford City Charter to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public official, a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual, unless the public employee, official licensee, or regulated individual request a public hearing. Pursuant to and in accordance with Section 3.052 of the Milford City Charter, to also consider the purchase of property for public purposes or for the sale of property at competitive bidding if premature disclosure of information would give an unfair competitive or bargain advantage to a person whose personal private interest is adverse to the general public interest.
Second.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
All right, and we'll be returning to the meeting just to adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.